Alright then, what I want to do now is make a few changes to, well, just two changes, to Ikshidiki Sidar Kondo. This is my They Hit You From the Back life gain deck. So the idea is all the creatures have higher toughness and power and a lot of life gain. So what I want to do is put in another effect that has all my creatures hit from the back rather than the front. And some, not really card draw, but card draw life gain. Well, let's just call it card draw, fuck it. Twilight Prophet. So, I thought I knew about all of these effects. I don't. I didn't. I do now. And there's still two that I'm missing. So, Ancient Lemmerknot. 2, 1 black, 1 green for a 1/4 tree folk. Each creature control with toughness greater than its power hits from the back rather than the front. Twilight Prophet. 2 black, 2/4 flying vampire cleric. So this flying clerk, if you have City's Blessing, she ascends. And then if you've ascended during your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put it in your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life for X is that card's mana value. So, a little bit of card draw. So like I said, the idea behind this deck, it started as Duran. Years ago this deck was Duran. And at some point I realized that Duran was not quite getting there. So I changed it to a partner deck, Ikshidiki Sidar Kondo. Ikshidiki is I'll just show them so you can see them better. So she is 3 green and 1 black for a 3/7 menacing Naga wizard. Whenever creature control deals combat damage to player, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Sidar Kondo of Jamura, 2, 1 green, 1 white for a 2/5 legendary human knight with flanking. Whenever your creatures your opponents control without flying or reach cannot block creatures with power 2 or less. And not just your creatures, they can't block any creatures with power 2 or less and not flying or reach. So it can be a little political. Right. So what I thought I would do with this deck, what I've done with this deck, is I put in a lot of life gain effects. I thought it would be a life gain, hit from the back, toughness matters deck. I have Duran, I have Rashad and Bashir, I've got the Bedrock Tortoise, and I have Huatli. So Ancient Lemmerknot will be 5. There is still 2 more of these effects. One of them is from the new Khans of Tarkir set. Dragons of Tarkir, is that what it's called? Which I'm not buying because I've cut off anything after Bloomburrow. But since I do want more of that effect, he is going to get shoved in there somehow. Something is coming out for him. Question is, what? So let's take a look. Let's take a look what's coming out for Lemmerknot. Now, it could be just real simple. It could be I just take out the Aetherflux Reservoir because it's a bit of a combo piece. It usually doesn't go off. It's not that fun to play. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. I'm not casting that many spells. I do not have Boldus' Citadel in the deck. Pay 50 life, deal 50 damage target, so it can kill somebody out of the blue. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that's what I should take out. I should just, because it is kind of a distraction. It is effective if I have got a bunch of life. It works. It does help me gain life if I'm casting spells, but I'm not chaining that many spells together. I'm not really casting that many spells. And the incremental life gain it gives me really isn't that much. So really I'm just hoping I can get to 50 life and then activate Death Star, activate 1 reactor core and kill somebody. That's just, bang. Oh, look, I'm at 52 life. What are you at over there? 30? Okay, you're dead. And then what? Kind of boring. So let's make it easy. Let's take out the Ancient Lemmerknot. Put him in instead of the Aetherflux Reservoir. So the deck is going to do more of what I want it to do. More hitting from the back. So he's effectively a 4/4. Each creature control toughness greater than its power hits from the back. That's good. And I've got 5 of these effects. Bedrock Tortoise. I think one of them. I think he's one of the weird wording. Let me find the tortoise. I think his wording was kind of weird because it said some bullshit. Let me find him so I can find out the bullshit for sure. Oh yeah, there's the new Crackdown. So I got a mystery booster Crackdown. I put the other Crackdown into Ruhan Mineri, I'm pretty sure. There it is, Bedrock Tortoise. So they're in green for 0/6. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have hexproof. Each creature you control toughness greater than its power assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So this only affects creatures I control. Yeah, only creatures I control. Duran says all of them. Duran says everybody's hitting from the back, baby. There's that new guy, Oathsworn Giant, 4 double white for a 3/4 vigilant giant soldier. And he gives my other creatures +0/+2 in vigilance. So vigilance has become kind of the tertiary theme of the deck. So primary is life gain. Secondary is toughness matters. Tertiary will be vigilance. Now the Twilight Prophet. What do I want to, if anything? What do I want to take out, if anything, for her? I'm not really sure. I'm not, because, okay, 2 double black for a 2/4 flyer. And I have to hit the City's Blessing, which in this deck can be a little bit tricky. And I've got Welcoming Vampire already for incremental card draw. But her... So what... Let me see if there's just anything that is weaker than her that is an obvious thing to take out. That just makes sense. Well, she's a 3/4, 2 white. Activate abilities of creatures your opponent's control can't be. So she hoses people randomly. Oh, here. So let's keep her in there. Okay, Sapling of Kofanor. Well, she's indestructible. 2/5 on the ground, indestructible. 5 mana, 2 double black, double green hybrid. Whenever she attacks, reveal the top card of my library. If it's a creature card, I gain life equal to its toughness and lose life equal to its power, then put it in my hand. That's probably the key. That's probably what I should take out, is some non-creature card. What non-creature card would be best to take out, though? I mean, pretty much everything. The deck list is real tight. Everything in here is pretty much pulling its weight. Blinding Angel, she hits somebody, then they can't attack their next turn. So she can, as long as she can get through, she can stave off attacks. Do I have a Rogue's Passage in this deck to make sure she gets through? No, of course not. So I'm just hoping she gets through trample and magical thinking, wishful thinking. Meekstone, into creature power greater than 2 does not. Creatures power greater than 2 don't untap. So if their power is 3 or greater, they don't untap during the untap step. And sometimes this has been a group hug card. Sometimes I've put it out there, and one guy's like, "Oh man, motherfucker." Another guy's like, "Oh, that's good. It doesn't affect me at all." Until I got my Planeswalker ticked up. Then I'm going to blow it up. Alright, and you tick up your Planeswalker tickler. Erebos, Guide of the Dead. Another way of drawing cards, spending life. Alms Collector. So 3 and a white. 3/4 flashy kitty cat. Oh, it's a kitty. It's a clerk too. So I've got a vampire clerk and a kitty clerk. Opponent draw 2 or more cards and said you and that player each draw. So in practice, in the decks I play against this, she's not so great. Because they're doing things like sacrificing a creature, drawing a card. Sacrifice another creature, drawing a card. Casting something that lets them draw in 3. They're hardly ever drawing in multiples, and she only works if they draw 2 or more from the same effect. If they draw 1 from one effect, 1 from the effect again, 1 from the effect again later, she doesn't do anything, but there is the possibility she will. So I should probably keep her in here. Loot. Loot has great potential to put more cards into play, more creatures on the battlefield under my control, to beat my opponents about their head and shoulders and make them wish that they had not played the bullshit they were playing. Better keep the removal. Lisa, oh man. She's fucking great. 2 black, double white, 4/5 flying lifelinker. Whenever another non-token creature control croaks, it comes back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls it croak, it gets exiled instead. Twice now. At least one of them was Pete, with Sidar Jabari. They cast a spell where everybody chooses a creature, sacrifices the rest, and the creature that they chose gets a counter on it that says that creature cannot attack the caster of the spell for the rest of the game. So twice that spell has gone off, and I've chosen Lisa. So I get all my creatures back in the end of the turn, all my opponents lose theirs forever, and okay, so Lisa can't attack you. Everybody else can once they start popping off again. This is going to be a little trickier than I thought, because like I said, everything... The reason the Twilight Prophet is not in here is because it's working pretty good. I could use more card draw. Let me see what I have for card draw. I've got Welcoming Vampire. I've got Erebos, God of the Dead. I'm just looking at the Mox Field. I've got Oran Frostfang, that whenever a creature I control does combat damage to a player, I get to draw a card. How many lands do I have? I have 38 lands, but one of them is Thawing Glaciers. Another one is Winding Canyons. So I've got a lot of lands that produce colorless that don't really, and that's bitten me in the ass before. I've got Green Sun Zenith that will find me, so I've got effectively 6 of those hit from the back effects, because I've got Duran, Bedrock Tortoise, and now Ancient Lumberknot that can all be found with Green Sun Zenith. Duran for 4, Turtle and Lumberknot for 5, because, you know, 1 green and then the X. This guy has definitely proved his value. My Loyal Unicorn. 3 and white for a 3/4 Vigilant Unicorn, as long as I control one of my commanders. Prevent all combat damage that we dealt to creatures I control this turn, and my other creatures have Vigilance. So I just attack. They're indestructible, they've got Vigilance, so I'm coming after somebody. Maybe I don't need Cannibalize. But I want to try it, and this is a good deck to try it in. And like I said, maybe I will not put in the Twilight Prophet. I'll go another round through this, and if I don't see anything, then I'll just give up and put the Twilight Prophet back in my binder, back in the pool of commander cards that just aren't in a deck for whatever reason at this time. Because as good as she would be, everything else in the deck is working good, working as I expect, doing what it's supposed to do. So I don't want to upset the apple cart too much. Taking out the Aetherflux Reservoir It's not that bad. I think it's actually, it is making the deck worse, but I think it's going to lead me to have better games, because I'm not going to be wishing I could find it so I can kill somebody just outright and get them out off the board. So I'll be more focused on the creature combat aspect, on doing what the deck is overall designed to do, not some random screw you, get out of the game, sort of out of nowhere card. Each creature deals damage equal to each creature. They punch themselves in the face. All the you spend 4 and a white, sorcerer speed. All the creatures, just their power, they punch themselves in the fucking face. So if their power is greater than toughness, they just die. I have to be careful because a few of my creatures have death touch, and they will kill themselves because they do power to themselves. Sorin, as long as your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. +2, deals 1 damage to target creature or player, big fucking deal. Neg X, return target creature card with CMC X from your graveyard to the battlefield. You don't bounce back at the end of your turn. There's no extra bullshit to pay. You just get the creature. It becomes a vampire also, but you just get it back. So I don't think I've had him in play where I've done that. I've had him in play a couple times and I've done a little bit of damage, but usually my opponents decide to take him out pretty quickly. Probably because they can see what's coming. So if I draw more cards, this guy will let me put them down. Her, I keep thinking of taking her out, but untapping a land can be pretty good, especially if it's you have my hollow. If it's if I need another trigger off Aura Stronghold, something like that. I don't have high market. I've got a high market in here, so I can use her to untap it, so I can send 2 creatures to the high market if my opponents are trying to exile 2 of my creatures and I want them in the graveyard instead of exiling them. I'm just not really seeing it. I'm not really seeing anything that jumps out at me and says Twilight Prophet is better than me. So here's what I'd like you to do. If you've gotten to this part of the video, if you saw anything in the deck, you see anything in the deck list, and I'll post the deck list as I always do. If you see anything that you think Twilight Prophet is better than, hit me up in the comments. Tell me why you think it's better, why Twilight Prophet is better than the card you think it's better than, and we'll go from there. Let's start the discussion.